Aloha and welcome from Stairs Island. Alex is about ready to pull up anchor, heading to the Bustard Islands. Very nice anchorage here. The wind is starting to pick up just a little bit, and we're going to try to head up towards the North Channel just a little bit before the storm arrives.
Today's voyage will take us from Stairs Island down the Pointe of Baril Channel to the narrow Alexandra Passage before crossing the open Georgian Bay to the Bustard Islands. Aloha, we are Sava, Cynthia, and Alex, along with our two dogs, Lucy and Shadow. We're traveling America's Great Loop, a 6,000-mile North American waterway from Florida to Canada and back down via the Mississippi. Follow us on this journey on our boat called Mahalo.
All right, we're leaving Stairs Island. That was our bay right here. See it right past. Beautiful sunny day. The good breeze this morning. So follow our journey as we go up to Bustard Islands.
Leaving this cute cove, we were friends with the little sailboat there, and this is us leaving. Wanted to stay here for another night, but the weather window is good. So, because it is already September 5, 6, we have to keep moving so that we're not stranded waiting on the Great Lakes. What a beautiful, beautiful sight. Hard to leave. This island is called Stairs, just like walking upstairs. And over on this side, there's a little house and boat. Even in the most, what I would say, you feel remote, there are houses and boats. Everybody has a little cottage, if they can, on the lake, it appears.
It's not national park.
Right, if it's not a national park. Alex, good morning.
Morning.
So Alex is just kind of monitoring for us as we go out for any rocks just under the water. How much is our depth?
We are at 19 feet below.
19 feet right here, below the bottom of our boat. So very nice to get out. Beautiful day for travel. We hadn't planned on it. We planned on staying, but the captain.
We've got 600 miles to go before we get to Chicago, and from what I hear, and my wife grew up close to the lake there, Lake Michigan, it's supposed to get really ugly after the second week of October. So our goal really is to get to Michigan before the second week of October, which pretty much means we have to cover about 20 miles a day to get there.
And we can't do it every day because
and some
of
days
the
you won't be able to
storms.
travel because they're not travel days, and some days you just want to like take 2 days off. So that means you just have to double that travel time. So we'd like to get to the North Channel, spend a week there maybe, and then look for a weather window to make it to
Mackinac Island.
Mackinac Island.
We may not even be saying that right,
Okay,
but
so
the island where they don't have any cars, horse-drawn carriages. So looking forward to finding that and seeing it. So for those of you that started the loop earlier in the spring, you are not as, maybe you can go wherever you'd like and look at all the different sites.
Oh, you can spend all summer up here. Yeah,
Us,
no question.
because we started end of July out of Delaware, we really do, if it's a good travel day, we got to keep moving. Nobody wants those 15-foot waves they describe in mid-October in Lake Michigan. There'll be none of that. So we're just exiting the cove, and somebody put a private marker there. It must be on a rock, which we're grateful for. Alex went back out front till we can clear these scattered islands and get ourselves out in a more open area. Put in 4 docks. It's nice for visitors. And this This little house is making good use of its tiny island.
Everything I once worked so hard for. Now I found my meaning. I found my meaning. I'm chasing my dreams.
Yeah, there is crazy. But right here, it's not by no rock.
The wind is picking up as we get closer to the Georgian Bay again. Not sure what that tower is. If anyone knows, put it in the comments below. Interesting tower. Looks like it has some microwave station or dish underneath it, maybe. I don't know. We got a lighthouse coming up as well. Looks like another lighthouse up there. And then we're getting close to the Georgian Bay. It's a pretty lighthouse right here. It says closed.
In the 1870s, fur traders lost a canoe along the eastern shore of the Georgian Bay. It was discovered the following spring by stranded fur traders who helped themselves to a barrel of whiskey found in a canoe. After some whiskey-fueled merrymaking, the traders left the empty barrel on the point as a marker. And soon after, French mariners started to refer to the point as Pointe au Baril, meaning Barrel Point.
Aloha. So we just passed that old barrel lighthouse, which is right back there. Very narrow entrance to that part of the bay. This is now going out in the open of the Georgian Bay right here. As you can see, not much in waves, but we got good wind going on. See our birdies flying here with a good amount of wind going. So
right here around this marker, and it's very deceptive for all this what looks like open ocean. It is very shallow.
Right next to it on the north side, it went down to 6 feet. Navionics said it was 20. Yeah, obviously a big difference between 20 and 6 feet.
That's very distressing.
Yeah.
Seeing that much of a discrepancy.
Yeah, we had 6 feet under our propellers instead of 20.
Very distressing.
I was about ready to cut it short, but then decided to stick with the markers after that happened.
I guess what we're saying is the loop is not just for putting it on cruise
What
control.
I'm saying is you cannot trust Navionics completely. Trust your markers. Trust your channel markers.
So here is like fingers of rock coming out from that back area that we just came from. So we literally are doing like a Z. We're going in and out. A sailboat that was doing the same thing with these fingers had had enough, and he just powered out into the open ocean, which we have that option. I should say open ocean. This is part of Georgian Bay, but we're trying to see as much as we can, so we are following the markers, but we're going in and out ourselves. So follow along. Zav said some of these rocks look like humpback whales. Can you imagine what people did without markers? I mean, yeah, the chance of you going from 20 feet to like 5 feet is huge.
See, it's shallow every roof. It's very narrow. Very, very narrow. Sharp left turn here.
We're going to be going a sharp left between the rocks. Basically, we're zigzagging. We go out to the open area, we come back into these inlets. And as always, it's not wilderness. There's always homes and Canadian flags and what I think are loons. Look at that pretty one flying. Alex is pointing out some stuff for us. Zava's saying that driving this is like doing a Department of Motor Vehicles motorcycle test as he zigzags.
Yeah, it's just
The warning of the orange, red triangles, the green. But it's so pretty in its own very wilderness-like way. And as always, there's houses. There's one over here. Pretty things are dangerous. Straight ahead, and a lot of the houses are just kind of a light brown. They blend in, so you don't even realize at first that there's homes along here. Alex is looking for rocks or anything that's hidden even as we go through the markers, because sometimes there's still a surprise. That one looks like it has an air handler or maybe a solar panel, something on its roof. Sava's always amazed there's not solar panels slapped on every roof up here. So this house looks like two different modulars set up and connected. Sitting down for the first time in an hour. Been no break.
I have regrets. I think I would have liked to have gone in the open bay rather than doing this. This is pretty, but not. Yeah, maybe with a smaller boat.
Okay.
We're just.
But this is gorgeous for those that want to travail through here. It is
a lot of steering, left and right, left and right. You literally have like a 20-foot margin. It's like driving through a garage door.
little screen porch there. Looks like relaxing to have your morning cup of brew, tea or coffee, whatever you'd like. Doesn't that look relaxing? A little screen house so you don't get bugs.
There's a double red right there.
Coming up is a double red, and then to the far left you see the green box. There's a kayaker who just came over here to the island. They were exploring around. So Zava just looked and saw that another looper is ahead of us today on this same route. They too chose not to do the ocean because this is so,
the bay from us.
so scenic. But they started out before us.
Wilma May.
The Wilma May. Another looper boat. But this is so pretty. I mean, you'd hate to miss this. There's a little white bird on the rock. Oh, and there it takes off. Do we turn here? There's a green there. We don't go over there?
Nope.
So we don't get to go over there and explore. Even though it's so pretty. We're turning here. Here's the other kayaker. They have a red kayak. The other one had a yellow kayak. Looks like they're both getting back into their boats and paddling. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the moon is up in the sky like a half moon. Just very pretty. This is going to be so cool on the time lapse. You can see we have a time lapse camera going, and all the zigzagging that Zava's done is going to look amazing on it. Definitely a lot less boat traffic since the holiday weekend's over. So I'm thinking that maybe Canadian children have gone back to school, because we're just not seeing the wave runners and the other boats that we saw so much over the holiday weekend. We're just not seeing it. We've seen one other sailboat today, but we have not had like a whole bunch of boats passing us. Not even local stuff. We haven't seen anything. There's a nice little boat right there between the cove. It's like you don't even want to put the GoPro down because you miss these cute little coves. And these are good sized houses. Some of them are 2-story, mixed in with the ranchers. There's a very interesting modern house coming up as well. Now here, someone has their house nested back in here with their little swim mat out here that you can swim to. Very cool. These ones have some Martin houses set up. Some nice chairs out on their dock. I'm keeping my eye peeled for wildlife. On one of the lake cottages, we actually saw some moose antlers mounted over the front door. Now that was kind of cool. That maybe that we're in moose country. Very, very interesting.
Eccentric design.
We are passing a very, very modern waterfront home. It's got a bubble window on the side, Alex pointed out. It's got a stone foundation. But then it's got some really, for being on the water, I would like some more windows on this side. Look at these narrow slit windows. You know, I would like windows everywhere. But so unusual. I wonder if the long part is a spiral staircase going up. What do you think that is? It's got a stovepipe at the top, so somewhere there's like a little fireplace, I'd imagine. And is the top a bedroom, perhaps? There's 3 windows on this side. And then it's got a deck that faces not toward the water, a deck that faces toward the trees. I would love a wraparound deck for something like this. Very interesting, very secluded. I guess its dock is over here in the corner because I don't see a dock right below it. Very interesting, right? Unusual. Very surreal. This is like driving through a calendar picture.
Right there, and then immediately left again. It's like a zigzag S-turn
There's a beautiful cape on this island, and where we're headed,
It's not supposed to be that shallow. It's just an estuary.
a tight.
Yeah.
So see the little scattered islets that are right here in the middle? We are going to thread through them. There's a red triangle and then a green square. So we have to, instead of going straight, we have to turn right hard into between these small rocky outcrops. I think I'm seeing my first dock over here on the right hand side. We're seeing a lot of signage everywhere, white signs that say private, no trespassing. So I guess they don't even want kayakers to come. I mean, it's posted on the port side. Not seeing all that signage on this side. Now, this is the first time, Alex, I see a dock and a slide over there on this port side. It's the first time I've seen some sort of house. I see a red and a green bed. I see a green, red and a green. And they're pretty far apart actually. So here's a house finally on this side. Up until now it's just sign after sign posted private, no trespassing, which we haven't seen before. Then here's a slide going into an inside part. The surrounding dock makes it so the slide goes in a private little cove there. And then here's a house. First one we've seen, because we're not seeing them on either side anymore in this cove. Good sized floating dock. It looks like the kind of dock that's made with like barrels underneath. You know, like floats. There's a steep ladder going up to the deck. And then they have a long dock back here. And an old boat garage with a whole bunch of old boats with the doors open. 2 boat garages. Interesting. Maybe they own all this land. It's like a hunting land or something. Starting to see some more houses scattered along on the port side. On the GoPro. Maybe it doesn't show up on the GoPro, but the water is suddenly just a sea green versus the other darker colors. We have about 12 feet below us here as we follow the red markers. It looks like a sandy beach all along that side, but too shallow for us to travel near it.
You want to go to that? All right, we just passed. Where's the marker, Alex? Did I just pass it?
Yeah, you just passed
Oh, we just passed it right there. We're 22 kilometers from Bustard Island. And yeah, funny enough, I ran out of battery on the GoPro. But there it is right there. It's the marker. 22 miles, kilometers, not miles, kilometers, about 15 miles this way. And we should be there for about two some odd hours. The waves have picked up. We are rocking quite a bit. Got about 2 plus 3 foot waves here. that's the way it is. So follow along as we continue our way to Bustard Island. Aloha, we're arriving at the Bustard Islands, which are right over here. We're going through this narrow channel going in, and hopefully we can find an anchorage with not too many boats in there. We see another trawler trying to go in. They may be passing by or going to the anchorage as well. We'll see. It's about that time in the afternoon, getting close to between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's usually when people arrive for their anchorages. So, but it's been a little bit rough with confused seas, partially following, partially confused swells. So we've been rocked to left and right, and we'll be glad to get some peaceful waters.
So we arrived at the Bustard Islands here next to Strawberry Island from the northeast. As you can see, we came down the channel, and this Hatteras, just when they saw us, they put on all the power they had to race in here and take the spot that we were planning on having. Where you see them right there, that's about the only spot that we would fit. So we're sitting here trying to figure out what to do next. It takes us a little bit, but that's what you see here. Beautiful spot though. If we could stay here at the Bustard Islands, we would have loved to have done that, but we needed the protection from the north, because that's where the winds were going to come from.
Here's a view of Bustard Island. That boat got here just maybe 5 minutes before us, and there's just not enough room to swing in there. I'd have to tie off to the rocks, which I really don't want to do. So we anchored here momentarily to figure out what we're going to do. In the meantime, I think we're going to head up to Bad River. There's a couple other looper boats in that area, which is well protected. Right now we're here in the middle. As you can see, the wind is going to be coming from that direction right here in the opening. So this would be a really bad spot with 25-mile-an-hour winds. Gusts, so we're gonna move out of here. It's a beautiful spot, another time maybe, but not today.
So thank you for joining us on this journey from Stairs Island through the Alexandra Passage up here to Bustard Islands. We love all your comments and questions. Please keep those comments. We love to interact with you and try to answer every one of those. In the meantime, please give us a thumbs up. Please like, share, and subscribe with your friends. It makes a world of difference to our channel and helps others discover this amazing voyage of the Great Loop. We see you again next time as we continue on the Georgian Bay to find that protected anchorage.